Alrighty. Neil the Smashin' Smith.
That's one of
Mr.
the many names.
Mr. N. Um,
Ensign.
let's start. Um, First question. What do you
All right.
think? What do you think about Martha PM?
What do I think about Marthin PM?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of ways that I could be thinking about this. I usually play melee, so I can observe how Marth is different from PM to melee. And Marth is really good in melee. He's the obvious top tier because of his range and how fast he is and all his combos. But in PM, he has got some cool stuff. He's got his Dare, which is faster, and he feels a little bit more buttery smooth. His tournament winner is actually pretty good. His side B reverse stuff, like reverse side B, wave bounce, is all pretty cool to toy around with. He's got a Dacus, which, although I don't normally get, is one of the most amazing feelings if you can get a Dare to Dacus up smash.
Right.
But do you mean like in the tier list?
Yeah. How do you feel like the character fares versus the other cast of Project M?
Hmm.
Because off the top of my head, you're one of the only PM Marth players I can think of.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple others like Jags, Dusty,
Hmm.
Venom for a little bit.
Right.
So the way I think about Marth is an extremely player dependent character. Needs I mean, Marth is a character that needs the player to know a lot about the other, you know, the matchup that they're going to be playing with, and also making the correct reads and spacing and being patient. So since Project M has a lot more matchups, a lot more like matchups that you actually have to study rather than like in melee,
Hmm.
then his viability in tournament goes down a bit, but he's still really strong. He can still beat a lot of the casts pretty handedly. It just takes a lot of dedication.
Right. That's good. So why did you pick up PM, not just stick to solo melee?
So when I first got into the scene, it was actually like before Apex 2014.
Hmm.
So this was the like right before the golden age of Project M or something. This is when Apex 2014 was the tournament where Armada fucked up King with Pit and Project M and Melee in El Paso, where I started playing Smash. Both of them, both were pretty equal. My first true main in PM, my first main, the first character I picked up in PM was Wolf. As a scrub, I love that dash attack. It keeps them in the air. And so basically in El Paso, I played a lot of, I played both pretty equally. I found more success at PM because I picked up Diddy Kong and dash attack to up B is a broken strat if you're starting
Yeah.
if you're starting the game. So that's where I first found success in Smash. It was in PM, and coming to Arizona Tucson, the melee scene is not very good to find on Facebook because I have family in Tucson, so
Hmm.
we'd come over from El Paso. So when we try to find people to play with on Facebook, like the melee people are like pretty hard to get to because it's like a statewide Facebook group and people don't really post there. It's mostly homie things. But what we did see was the Project M tournaments, the Amazing Discovery tournaments on Facebook. So we would go to there since that was our availability for Smash, and we'd go to those tournaments and I just kept on going to the Project M tournaments.
Right. Right. Okay, that's cool. Did you start at melee or did you like kind of pick up both around the same time?
I picked up both around the same time.
Okay.
You can actually go back and look into an El Paso interview series by Kid Ray.
Hmm.
You should look them up. They're pretty funny,
Okay.
and you'll see young Mr. N. Doesn't look
Okay.
that different, but anyway, yeah, I'll tell you that I play Wolf and Diddy.
Okay. Okay. So now enough about back then. Now it's now.
Okay. Let's talk about now.
Yeah, let's talk about now. Let's talk about Mr. N, number 9 on the PR. Um,
Yep.
so you and Docs were the newest additions on our PR for a while, actually. I think the last time we had a new player on the PR was Dirty Dan and Whiffy. They came on around the same time.
Yeah.
So what's it like
Yeah, I gotta
being?
tell you. I gotta tell you, I really like Whiffy.
Everyone likes Whiffy.
Everyone likes Whiffy.
Yeah. But what's it like being a new PR player? Like, what are the pressures that come on with that? Suddenly jumping to the top 10 echelon of Arizona players.
Well, top 10 echelon. That's a pretty good way to call it. It doesn't feel too different. A lot of things are funnier because the people at the Amazing Discovery tournaments, the Smashing Discoveries, will say like, "Yo, PR," and Spoop is definitely. I'm not. Spoop is a snake main from Tucson
Right.
and while, and he's definitely top four at the weeklies now.
Good, good, good.
Um, and so basically, he's been giving me a run for my money. He's beaten me in a couple sets. So we always joke around like, "Yo, PR win,"
PR soon.
and that's gonna be $6 for that PR win. Actually, there's a fee to beat me actually. And other than that,
I'm sorry, that's funny.
uh, yeah. Other than that, it's been all right. I feel like I'm doing the same thing as I usually did, and I don't know, it feels good. Also, I don't know if you know, I'm the Melee Arcadian champion,
Yes.
but it was an Arcadian, and I'm on PR. I don't know how they let that slip through.
Yeah, that happens. Bagels did the same thing, actually.
Yeah, Bagel. Yeah, yeah, that Arcadian. Yeah, we're both Arcadian champs in Melee, and we both play Project M.
Um, so I made a post on Facebook, people asking you questions. That question just asked from was from NA10. This one's from
Oh, okay.
This one is from Jesus. He
Oh, I
wants
didn't see this Facebook chat.
he
This is the.
wants to know who was your first roadblock. Like, yeah, who like what player did you struggle with the most on the come up?
On the come up. So this is a lot. This is okay. So there's the El Paso times. So the people that gave me a run for my money was this guy called 12. He's a Peach player, and his name's Leo, and he's from El Paso. And he was definitely what I would call a personal rival from back then. I think we had some really close sets, but he usually takes them. So that was El Paso, and in Tucson, I think. Oh, in Tucson, my major roadblock in Melee was Forte Freak. Forte Freak was by far my biggest Melee roadblock since a lot of locals, I'd meet him and he'd be the one to knock me down to losers, and then we'd probably meet again in losers. And you know, after a couple months, I did eventually take sets off of him, but he usually still come back into grand finals. So he was definitely my biggest roadblock in Tucson. And yeah, I was better than a lot of the other newer echelon of Tucson players
Mm-hmm.
in Melee, such as Joshua Washa, Jerb, um, Dankbot, Lore. I was like a step above them at that time, and Forte Freak was the main one that was bringing me down, or it was my roadblock.
Okay, nice.
And then in PM, I'm not sure. I would say Kitten was the big roadblock with the Ice Climbers. We have a rivalry. Alvin is also a roadblock with Wario. Right now, Casino Wolf is a huge roadblock with me too. His punish game, he doesn't need to win that many neutral, so he does body most of it sometimes, but it's getting closer. He's a huge roadblock right now.
Right. Um. Okay. So how do you deal with like having those roadblocks? Like, did that ever give you a bad mentality at certain situations, like wanting to give up? And if you did,
Oh yeah.
how did you get over that? Because I know you're still playing. You're still a very good player. How did you get over that wall that's put in front of you?
Oh, and bagels is also a huge roadblock. All right. So the question was, how do I? Oh, do I get bad feelings
Yeah,
from
and
these roadblocks?
yeah, and how do you deal with them?
So I'm, out of like a personality traits, I think some people are prone to more negative emotion, and some people are more cold. I feel like I'm definitely much more on the cold side. I don't feel, I don't feel as anxious as a lot of other people. So that does help me. Like I can usually brush things off in that way. But as when I'm getting beat, yeah, I can definitely say like, oh my god, this is so stupid, and it shows up in gameplay, like going for random reads that don't pan out and just get me more punished. But the way I get past that I'd say is that I like to think of things as a learning experience. I know that I can use the information that I used for like playing the matches. I can like play it back to myself and then take out crucial moments or take out like some neutral spots that I saw some detail to and then I would like to explore more. So everything's a learning experience and then if I look at it like that, then it becomes a lot more palatable to keep on going since there's more areas to go into. And I think this is probably a question later, but are you gonna ask a question about the Death Note
Yes, I was
later on?
gonna ask about the Death
All
Note.
right, all right, we'll keep it to later then. But yeah, yeah, that keeps me going.
I was actually gonna ask about the Death Note right now, so I'm glad you bring it up. You brought it up. What is the Death Note? The Mr. N Death Note.
So you'll see me on videos a lot of the time. You'll see me looking at my phone, and I'm not looking at text messages. I'm writing stuff into my phone using my OneNote account. I'm taking notes on neutral exchanges and a lot of the things happening in the game. And a lot of people think it's me writing very specific player habits. It's like, oh man, this guy's really gunning out for us. He's gonna be on the hunt one day.
Hmm.
And funnily enough, I didn't see Death Note when you first mentioned nicknamed it that, but I saw it and it was pretty good.
Yeah.
So the Death Note, I would recommend it to everybody. It's basically a learning tool to better understand the game and be able to look back into your notes while you're practicing. To you know, it makes everything much more vivid and puts you back in the moment once you read it. So it's a lot clearer to know what to practice.
Right. Yeah, I agree with you. It's a really good tool for, especially for people who like me, who struggle with kind of like a bad memory of remembering things like last
Hmm.
minute. Um,
Yeah.
all right. Last kind of joke question, and then I got some more serious ones for you after this.
Okay.
Um, explain to me and to all the people watching,
Ooh, am I going to tell you the story?
what is man spreading?
What is man spreading?
What is the
You want to
Neil?
hear the story?
What is the Neil Smith man spreader? Yes, please.
You want to know? Okay. So the Neil Smith manspreading is I manspread to a degree that it will make you lose the set and the game, and I will proceed and bracket farther than you.
Is
Like my legs will be touching your controller, and it is still expanding.
how far do your legs go?
Oh, have you not seen the Mr. N image?
I know what it looks like. I just want the people to know.
Okay, so I would say, well, when people look at that image, people say, "Damn, I didn't even know it could be that flexible." I would say the width span is around 10 feet.
10 feet?
Oh, maybe 8 feet
Okay,
across.
I think ten's a little too much.
All right.
Eight's a bit more believable. Okay,
Mhm.
so this one's from Bagels. He asks, where do you see yourself on the PR a year from now?
You're probably wanting the PMPR.
Yeah.
PMPR. Let's
Yes.
see. Who's above me at the moment?
Well, I can pull that up actually right now.
Okay,
Currently, our PR is 10 Docs, 9 Mr. N, 8 Cutmet,
that's me.
7 Nate Senpai, 6 Cloudburst, 5 Neon, 4 Dadpool, 3 Casino Wolf, 2 I Love Bagels, number 1 Blue.
So I get 2 free spots up.
Yeah, a lot of these guys are MIA right now.
Yeah, like mostly Deadpool and Neon at the moment. But other than that, man, from a year from now,
Mm-hmm.
so I could see myself uh probably 8 or something. The
Okay.
thing is, I'm a college student at the moment, and that saps up a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
And splitting the time between melee and PM is pretty. It's how would I say? It's a sort of an opportunity cost. You got to split your wages
Right.
and where you put in that time.
Yes.
Uh, so I don't see myself going much higher on the PR. But if there was a hypothetical situation, such as like it's summertime when I have a lot more free time, and I have my brother here, so we can play a lot, then I could potentially. Yeah, so if I had my summertime, I had a good training partner, and I'd just be learning a lot more about the game and reads and a lot of that. I can see myself getting up to like number 5.
Okay. I see it.
Because, right, yeah, I can see it. Mostly because Blue is an extremely good link and has a lot of very link specific things to worry about. So I feel like I need to play him like at least 3 times in 3 sets, in order to like download it or download the matchup.
Hmm.
And then same for Nails. So, and then Mewtwo. I think the Mewtwo will always be a problem since, I mean, that's how it is now since Ray J is really good at it.
Yeah.
And you definitely gave me trouble last time I went there too.
Mm-hmm.
Went up to Phoenix.
Yeah. Okay. Speaking of you coming up to Phoenix, you and Clayton came up. Clayton's come up a few more times. I meant to ask Bagels this question last interview, but I kind of forgot. What do you feel is the major difference between Phoenix and Tucson? Because at this
All right.
point, oh, go ahead.
Oh yeah, no, keep on going.
Because at this point, there's like very little interaction. You guys don't have a consistent stream. Zach can't make it. I can't make it. But yeah, what do you feel like is the big difference from each other?
Well, I can say about the Tucson culture, it seems like it's a lot more homey. It seems that it's a lot more loud. In Because in Amazing Discoveries we have our own room
Mm-hmm.
and we joke around a lot, and there's a lot of friendlies going on. In Phoenix, it seems that it's a lot more about the tournament. It seems like, all right, let's play our bracket matches, and that's what it felt like. Like, let's get our bracket matches done, and then that's basically it. That's the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe and also Cyberzone itself is, it's like an open room, while Amazing Discoveries has its own room, so maybe we're allowed to be louder. But it was like quieter in Cyberzone when I went,
Mm-hmm.
and so those are the two differences between the tournaments. But for the culture in Tucson, I'm not too sure about the friendlies I think the people in Phoenix are a lot more about climbing up the ranks. That's what it feels like. And Tucson is more about. It's more like people just come to play, and I think people are a little bit more content in Tucson because we have the amateur bracket, so the people who don't make it as far always feel like they have a chance, and they stick around because they like that. How often does the Phoenix people? How often do you guys meet up?
Amateur brackets. We don't do them as often as we used to, mostly because it's usually the same 10 to 13 people.
Yeah,
And like the people who are usually in amateur bracket play each other in losers or friendlies anyways.
yeah.
And Cyberzone goes on a bit later than SDR does, about 2 hours. Like we're done at midnight. You
Hmm.
guys are done at like 9:45. So people don't usually stay the whole way for amateur bracket, so that kind of is another incentive for us stopping.
Okay, but what about like general Smash Fest, like people meeting outside the tournament?
No, not often. Cloud does his every so often, but people really don't go.
Okay.
But what about over there? I really don't know. Like, do you guys do Smash Fest often?
Basically on Fridays, some of us sometimes we go to like Amazing Discoveries, the same room, and just play friendlies.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty homey.
Nice.
And Eric sometimes hosts stuff.
Cool, cool. That's good. Okay. So last thing, wrap it up. We're gonna do something a little different.
Ooh,
I'm
I
gonna,
need to do something spicy.
yeah, I'm gonna say a player, and I want you to like say the first thing that comes in your head, like
Oh no.
in like
Okay.
a sentence maybe. It could be shit
Oh,
talk.
okay.
It could be a compliment. I don't care. I just want to know what you have to say about this person.
All right. I'll try to.
Okay. So, Frodo.
Oh, he's a great friend. Like, we've had a great rivalry for a long time, and I've got the edge now. But yeah, he's a great friend.
Docs.
We meet outside. We meet out of state a lot in both melee, and it's kind of weird. He's very handsome.
Forte Freak.
I miss him. He's got the loud laugh. That's what I remember him for, and he's fun, and I do miss him.
Cloudburst.
He's old school. Oh, Cloudburst. I see Matt's face and Squirtle at the same time.
God
I see like the ninja suit doing that freaking taunt pose. That's what I see.
damn it.
But I also see a guy that like has a lot of potential, like cool combos and stuff.
Ande.
Ande, he's the Falcon, right?
Yes.
And, um, that's my thoughts. I don't know him too much.
Okay. Casino Wolf.
Casino Wolf, that's a cool tag. Um, and actually makes like because it's the tag. It's there was this one guy called Omega, and he came to a weekly. He's from Connecticut, I think, and he looked at me and said, "What's your tag?" And I said, "Mr. N." I was like, "Okay." And then he turned to Julius and he said, "Yo, what's your tag?" And he said, "Frodo." I was like, "Oh, okay." Then he turned to Ray J and he said, "Yo, what's your tag?" And Ray J said, Casino Wolf." And Omega goes, "Yo, is that Casino Wolf? Oh my god, dude!" It's like, oh my god, who is this guy? It's like, and he asks, "So, which character do you play again?" It's like, what? So, yeah, when I hear Casino Wolf, that's the main thing that I hear in my head since I passed that on. Ty,
Mm-hmm.
uh, he's a good Marth. Next one.
Um, Anetic.
Anetic. He's kind of goofy, but he's he seems really earnest. And, I like it when he's like talks about I like it when he talks about rivals and you know uh, like his experience.
Hmm. HF Neon.
HF Neon. Uh, he's also very handsome. I think like he's kind of reserved. He doesn't talk too much. Um, HF Neon, dude. When you think about that, you just think of the legend. You think of the legend himself, HF Neon. It's like he's like a god, like he's a mythical hero from a distant time. He's like Hercules or something.
Bootylicious.
And then Bootylicious keeps on changing his tag. It's Carlos, another Nest main, and yeah, he's getting a lot better. And I saw him from the very beginning. Didn't know who he was coming to the tournament. Now he's here. Now he's a staple, and that's great. He also loves Death Note.
Jesus.
Jesus, he's loud, but he's got a, it feels like he plays both sides. Like he'll how would I say, hype up your opponent and he'll hype up you, and that's cool. And that guy is meant to play DDD. Like that's where his soul is.
Hmm. Silly Kyle.
Uh, Pink.
Okay, last one. AZ Rocky.
AZ Rocky. I see his face mostly, and I see his Falco. And it seems pretty solid. And I think we need to play, since I think he also plays Marth as well as Falco. So it'd be cool if we met, since we both play Melee. And it's a cool tag. I like the tag.
Well, that's all I got for you today. You got anything else you want to say right now before we get out of here?
I gotta say thank you for taking the time out of your day to record all this. This is a pretty cool series, and I'm looking forward to listening to all these interviews. The thing, the first shooting the shit was like in 2016, Zach and Bagels.
2015.
So 2015, that's a long ass time ago.
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to seeing your interviews to see how much more jaded and matured everybody's gotten.
Yeah. It's pretty interesting. I definitely do think Zach's better at interviewing than me, but you start somewhere. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks for interviewing. And hopefully this brings a little bit more interest into AZPM.
Okay. Thanks for coming on, and we're done. Cool.
All right. See you later.